Hello everyone, and welcome to The Reading Alchemist, and welcome to a new video. So, this video is going to be a dedicated video, and that is because this video is going to be dedicated to my most anticipated release of 2021, and that is Any Way the Wind Blows by Rowell. This is the third book in the Simon and Baz trilogy. I'm very much looking forward to reading this book. I would read you guys the blurb, but spoilers, so I'm not going to do that. I have already read books 1 and 2 in this series. I read book 1 as a reread back in March, and I gave it 5 stars on Pile, and I reread book 2 last month in June for Whatever You Want-a-thon, and I also gave that book 5 stars. And since also then, I have read another book of hers. I've read Fangirl by Rowell, and I too gave that book 5 stars. So this is my most anticipated release of 2021, and it is a 5-star prediction. And I figured that since this book is my most anticipated release and it's a 5-star prediction, I figured that I should do a dedicated reading vlog to it. So I'm going to try to update you guys every 100 pages or so. I actually haven't heard any reviews yet for this book, and that's probably been because I've been avoiding, kind of going on like Goodreads and stuff and searching about this book, because people have already read this book since it came out last week. And of course I wasn't going to read it then because I'd already pre-ordered it, and so this is my pre-order. It was only available in hardcover, which I'm okay with. At some point I will get books 1 and 2 to add to the shelf, and of course Rowell has said that she might still write more for this universe, so I will be definitely reading those books when they do come out. So this is going to be a dedicated reading video for this book. If I remember, we'll do every 100 pages or so, but this book is like 570 pages, so it's going to take me a little bit of time to get through. I've timed it, and it's going to take me 572 minutes, because I read about a page per minute. And the font looks like it's the same as the R2, so it's not going to take me that long to get through this book. Could I read it in one sitting? Probably yes, I could, but I'm not going to, because I have work. I'm going to get started with reading my book. Look forward to me giving you guys updates about this book. And the reason why I pre-ordered this book is this is actually a birthday present to myself, because it's actually my birthday this Friday. So that's exciting. So this weekend reading vlog will be very fun. I'm very much looking forward to reading this book. Good evening, guys. So it is technically Wednesday morning. It is about just gone midnight, so the day's basically just started, and I'm finishing up my reading for Tuesday night, since I like to read before bed every night in my book. And since I'm doing a dedicated reading vlog to this, I should film an update when I've reached a certain number of pages, and I'm thinking 100, and 100 sounds good. And currently I'm actually on page 142. So in the past couple of days, I've done a fair amount of reading. Essentially, roughly, you could say about 80-ish pages a day, which is okay for my reading speed. I haven't had a lot of time to read, but that's normal due to work. And I really don't like to sit for long periods of time just reading. So what I've been doing is I've been sitting here reading for about 25 minutes at a time, and then I do something else. And right now that's working on a couple of easy projects, so I'll show you later. I might show it in this reading vlog. I might wait till a weekend reading vlog to show you what I've been working on. I'm here to give an update on this book, and it's out of the two books I've read, this book and the previous one are more like, they're reading more of like a YA contemporary. The first one kind of really didn't, and that one read more like a YA fantasy. This one so far is reading more like a YA contemporary, which, don't get me wrong, I read a fair amount of contemporary books recently. If they've gotten 4 to 5 stars in this 100-page section, something that happened that I have been looking forward to since the last previous 2 books that I knew was probably going to eventually happen. However, I didn't think it was going to happen roughly towards the beginning of this book. I thought it was going to happen more towards the end. So now I'm kind of more intrigued as to what's going to happen next, because the thing I thought was going to be more of an ending point was within roughly the first 100 pages or so. So that's interesting in development. I think in this book, a new sort of relationship is building, so I'm kind of see if my hunches are correct on that. Can I tell my rating within the first 100 pages? I don't know. Other than that, Simon and Baz still get a 10 out of 10 for me. So, I mean, it is my favorite ship so far in the world. Well, not my favorite ship in the world. It is my favorite bookish ship so far, other than Fangirl, but that also dealt with Simon and Baz. So technically, Simon and Baz is still my favorite book ship. And honestly, not gonna lie, it's one of the only books I've read that has so much invested in it. Also, still LGBT, which I wasn't doubting. Also, a moment in here almost happened, and the moment still might happen in this book. And there is a, like, chapter in here. It's, like, chapter 19. Essentially chapter 18 and 19, which is like roughly just a little past the 100-page mark. I guess you could kind of count chapter 18 as part of it, but that little section about matches up to chapter 61 in the first book as in a pivotal moment. So, pivotal moments are happening already here within the first, like, quarter of this book. And I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad at all. So, we're 142 pages, and I will definitely be reading more of this book. Also, today, I was watching a reading vlog, because apparently that's what I like to do while I read. I don't know why. It just kind of gives me in the mood to continue reading if I see someone else read or talk about a book. But anyways, it was the UK, and they opened up the UK, like, edition of this book, and it's gorgeous, and I want it, and I'm very sad that I have the US edition, and I want the UK edition. I'm a little bit mad about that I had to get the US edition, not the UK edition, because the UK edition is gorgeous. So there's that. I'm very much looking forward to continue reading this book. I will give you more updates as I reach 100 pages. That might be tomorrow, since I finished my other book that I was reading today. So I'll talk to you guys later. Hello there, you guys. So it is a little bit while later, and I've just realized that I never particularly ended my Anyway the Wind Blows video since actually completing the book. So earlier this week on Monday, I completed Any Way the Wind Blows by Rainbow Rowell, and I'm here to tell you guys my final rating of the book. So this book I gave a 10 for characters. Simon and Baz are always going to be top 10 characters for me. Anytime a book has LGBTQ plus and it's two boys, 10 out of 10 for characters. I don't know why, it's kind of just the way I am. So 10 out of 10 for characters automatically. I gave this book a 10 out of 10 for atmosphere. This book is set in London and also at a magic school in London. I grew up with reading Harry Potter. So, and I do really want to go to England someday. So, 10 out of 10 for atmosphere for me. I gave this book a 9 for writing. It's really, really hard for me to rate writing because for me, writing is something that I don't really pay attention to, and it's more so the story. But the writing in this book was still really good. There were a couple of moments in this book that I didn't particularly like how they were written. But I did like how they were written. It's a give or take thing. So that's why I got a 9. It didn't quite hit the 10 mark for that. Plot, also same reason. There were some moments that I didn't really like in terms of the plot and kind of felt it was a little bit slow at times. However, a moment happened in this book within the first 100 pages that I wanted to happen in this book series, so I'm very glad that that happened. For intrigue, I gave it an 8 out of 10. Kind of within the lines of the plot for this book is the reason why it got an 8 for intrigue, is it didn't have like a lot more action plots, and it was kind of a lot more character driven instead of action driven, which is kind of why it got an 8 for intrigue, because there were some moments of a lot of like slowness, so that's kind of why it got an 8 out of 10. Logic, I gave it a 9 out of 10. It's a YA contemporary book, so the logic in there follows like a story. It follows, I think, within a week's timeline, which I thought was really nice. And it didn't span out over a couple of months. So I did really enjoy it. And normally, if I rate logic the same as I do plot, because in order for logic to work, you have to have good plot. So it got a 9 out of 10 for logic. And I really enjoyed this book, so it got a 10 out of 10 for enjoyment for me. I'm always going to like Simon and Baz, my favorite characters. I'm sad that this book series ended. I was actually shocked that I didn't cry reading this book. There was a moment I did almost tear up, so there's that. So overall, this book got a 9.29 out of 10, which means it got a 5 stars from me, which I was projecting that it would get a 5 stars. I knew nothing can take me away from reading Simon and Baz. I'm always going to want to read Simon and Baz. Reading this book has made me realize that I need to tab this book series. So if I get a moment to draw this book series again for my TBR game, I will, of course, be, reading this book series again to tab it. I'm looking forward to see, because there were some moments that I almost tabbed, but I don't have any page tabs right now, so I couldn't really tab. So I'm excited to tab this book in the future and note which moments I actually really enjoyed. So yeah, that is going to be it for this video. Please give this video a like and a subscribe. Comment down below if you guys have read this book series yet, or if you're planning on reading this book series. It's one of my favorites. I couldn't recommend it enough. I've given all the books in this trilogy 5 stars. I'm excited to eventually get my copy of Wayward Son so I can have the complete collection. And I'm very glad to have actually read this book series. When I first read carry on. I didn't particularly like it. But I'm very, very happy to have read it a second time and to have this book series get all 5 stars from me. It's a very, very nice feat. Remember, guys, we are the one within the all.